What's going on, Safehouse
What's up,
family?
Safe House? We back in the house. In the Safe House.
We in the house. In the safe house. Safe in the
Yes. Yes. Safe
house.
in the house.
Well, welcome back to another discussion. It has been an action-packed last couple of
Oh, it
weeks.
absolutely has.
We've had
a
a
graduation.
graduation.
Our
So
son graduated.
our son graduated with his degree in recording arts. He is a sound engineer officially.
Yes,
now.
as my husband said,
Yeah.
we 2 for 2.
We 2 for 2 on the graduates. He went to Full Sail University. I'm wearing the Full Sail gear here.
Yes.
So yeah, big shout out to Andre Allen II, otherwise known as AJ. Our firstborn son. Winding road, but it's another testimony to how no matter how winding the road is, God still knows the destination.
And he didn't give up.
He did not give up, right?
He didn't give up,
Because there's stories of there's failure and disappointment along his journey, right? For such a young man, and just not only just disappointment, but unforeseen things happening to him that kind of drove him back to getting on the path. So it's really a excellent kind of tie-in to kind of what we're talking about today.
The winding road of relationships.
Yeah. We've had a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I didn't have any skin in the game, to be quite honest. I'm not a Chiefs fan or an Eagles fan. But, I felt like I didn't expect the Eagles to win like that. I'll put it like that. I thought it was going to be like a much closer game.
I did too.
So.
And then some of the flack and fallout that ensued from various commentators putting their mouth on certain teams. So it was very, very interesting. In terms of the
you had the whole Super Bowl, the halftime, that sparked a whole lots to talk about.
The whole Kendrick Drake battle.
So
and on the heels of that, we have Love Weekend, right?
Yes.
So when this video drops,
exciting and new.
It will probably be past Valentine's Day, but during Valentine's Day weekend. Now you got me singing, We're expecting you.
The love boat. Oh, we're not on a boat though, but yes, love.
So now that we've alienated most of the folks here that are probably under like 35.
Right.
Because they have no clue what the love boat is.
Love is exciting and new, though. Let's just be honest.
So those of you that have Tubi or some of the streaming programs that show old classic programs,
you should check out the Love Boat.
Check out the Love Boat.
Listen, we watched it every week, man.
Shows the era that we came from.
Exactly.
But Love Weekend. So this video drops probably on the day after Valentine's Day, but many people are choosing to use the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to celebrate their relationship, whether they are on the path to marriage via dating, pursuing that forever person, or people that have been together. And what I found is folks like us that have been together for a long time, there's not as much pomp and circumstance around Valentine's Day. I mean, there's obviously some gift giving.
Some people do. I mean, you can be married for years, and some people still bring a lot of pomp and circumstance to it.
Yeah. And if that's their relationship, that's good. Yeah.
Do you? This question is: do you think that when we first started dating, because I honestly don't remember, like, did we feel the pressure of doing a lot for our first Valentine's Day together?
I do not remember that. I mean, I just don't recall that sort of pressure. I think we did some things for each other, but it wasn't that.
The thing I do remember, though, is you would always get me chocolate.
Yeah.
And one year I was like, okay, I'm trying to lose weight, dude. Don't give me no more chocolate.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing, right? And I think that next year I wound up getting you like edible arrangements.
Yes,
like it was
we had to switch it up.
It was like 10 pounds of fruit that you couldn't eat, right? It's like the things we do to express ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I'm not a big flower person, so you had to switch up to balloons. I do like stuffed animals, that kind of thing. But, everybody celebrates differently.
Yeah. And how you celebrate for you and the person you are with, that is good. Whatever is good for you and works for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, the person that's doing the giving should understand what the person that's receiving likes.
Yeah.
But also the person receiving should also understand the intent and sentiment of the person that's giving, right? Because I've seen people get caught up in, your gift wasn't worth this, or you gave me a this that wasn't worth this, and I gave you a that, and the sort of gift competition kicks in, which is very unfortunate, right? Because there shouldn't be gift competition.
And too, now I'm not necessarily sure if this is true, but they say like Valentine's Day is more for the girl than it is for the guy. Which could probably make sense why some guys break up with their girls.
Yeah. Now that's a thing, right? So back in before I had when I had a player's card, I guess, right?
Yeah, because you don't have that anymore.
Right. There was this practice where you would, if you were dating somebody, you kind of break up with them like in mid-December, so you can avoid buying gifts for Christmas. And you'd kind of get back together with them in March, because that would be after the Valentine's Day and all that kind of stuff. So you kept a few dollars in your pocket, but, you took the risk of that person not being there when you got back. But it's like, that's kind of a janky way.
Right, that is true. That's true. That's not love. Let me just say that.
And it's not only not love, it's not longevity.
Yeah.
It's a very short-sighted.
Yeah, it's very short-sighted
view. So let's get into the topic of longevity.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today, because like I said, when you think about Valentine's Day, like you said, it's that one day where, where it's like we have all these expressions of our love. But like you said, to have for real longevity in a relationship, how do I make sure that my forever person or the person that I'm dating knows that all the time?
Yeah.
How do I sustain it?
Yeah. How do you sustain it? And how do you not view this, I kind of view it as a rise and a fall, right? There's this big rise right before Valentine's Day, and then it just kind of falls off after Valentine's Day.
I may not get another gift until God knows when.
Right. I'm I'm the international lover on Valentine's Day. Then I go back to being Homer Simpson.
He is.
Right.
No lover. Sorry, ladies.
But you want to be that all year round, not just on Valentine's Day,
and
right?
Let me just say, you are that all year round.
Thank you. If I wasn't so dark, I'd be blushing right now. So, but thank you.
Okay, let's get back to the conversation.
So let's get into this. Longevity. So when we, speaking of longevity, Super Bowl has been going on for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of things that you liked about this past game, was there anything that stood out for you in the context, even in the context of longevity?
What's really interesting is the thing that I found very interesting about the Super Bowl was it didn't even happen. It wasn't even on television.
Oh, okay.
So People Magazine, they were there, obviously, it's a whole week of stuff that goes on, like leading up to the Super Bowl. And so they were doing these interviews. And one of the most interesting interviews that I came across was this interview with Terry Crews.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there because he was talking about domestic abuse.
Okay.
But then he actually started talking about him and his wife. His wife's name is Rebecca.
Okay.
And he was saying how him and his wife are celebrating 36 years of marriage. But what was really interesting was he was saying at year 20, they were done.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. He says they were ready to call it quits. He says, but what was really interesting was, he said, but they both made a decision to rebuild their marriage. So at year 20, where they were about to stop, they've spent the last 16 years being fully committed to creating a stronger bond, a stronger relationship. So one of the quotes that he said was, he says, a lot of times people feel like love is about feelings. It's work. It's really work. He says, you have to get better at it. He says it's a skill. And I think we don't, when we think about longevity, we don't think about creating these spaces where it's a skill.
Yeah.
That love is a skill. I mean, when we talk about love, we don't think that love is a skill.
We don't look at love, relationships, or anything as a skill because a skill is something that has to be developed and honed.
Yes.
And the other thing about skills is that skills can be perishable, right?
Yes.
So what you thought you once knew can start to deteriorate. Trust me, I'm a golfer, right? So no matter how I've been playing golf for 20 plus years, right? And I still have to practice every day in order to keep my skills sharp. Or else if I go a couple of days without swinging a golf club, then it's like I'm a new golfer all over again. I'm making mistakes. And so this skill to be developed around love, around relationships, around longevity, I think is a novel concept.
And I like what you said about the whole golf thing. You said you have to practice like every day.
Yeah.
It's like you have to practice love.
Yeah.
You have to practice commitment. You have to practice making decisions that will keep you in this space of longevity.
Yeah.
So even in the interview, he said him and his wife made a decision. When they were at that year 20, he said that when he wanted to quit, she didn't want to quit. And then when she wanted to quit, he didn't want to quit. And the thing that he was very grateful for was that where they came into an agreement was that they both had decided that, okay, well, let's figure out how to make it work. That's where they landed. Even in their division, they both landed in this space of, okay, we don't want to break up. We really do love each other. So let's figure out how to make this thing last.
Okay. And so what's super about that is one of my brain is percolating right now, because I think we really need to publish some content about longevity as a skill, right? I mean, because this, just thinking about it in that way, it casts a whole new light, because we often think about love in these sort of mystical, magical, sort of emotional, chemical things, and that somehow or other we were brought together and the universe just kept us together for all this time, when really no. We were doing push-ups and sit-ups and we were training and we were in the gym and we were sweating and we were in pain and we were doing all these things. And on the back end of it, we have this well-developed physique of a marriage that we see, but the work that it took to make that happen, nobody sees. They just see us at the pose down, right?
That's true. That is true. I like it.
It's like, but then you have people trying to copy it. It's like, okay, I'm going to copy the way that relationship looks. And then, they're like, well, why isn't our relationship? Well, it's like, no, you haven't developed the skill. You're not putting in the work.
That's real. But to your point, though, like you said, why this is so necessary to talk about is because you don't realize that it's work.
You don't realize it's work. Like you don't realize it's a skill either.
Yeah, you don't realize it's a skill.
It's a skill to be able to say it's not her fault, it's my fault, right? It's a skill to be able to say, what was my role in this thing? It's a skill to be able to shut up and listen.
Yeah, all of that is, all of that and more.
Yeah. Very, very profound.
Yeah.
I mean, and so even when we look now at how, people come together and people decide, okay, I want to be with this person, there's a lot of superficiality that kind of drives, I like the way they look, they like the way I look. We could be a power couple. We talked about this on the last episode, right? They envision themselves in this future with this house and this kids and acquiring stuff.
Yeah.
And so at some point, you never know, a season may hit, right? A business may fail, right? A job may fall through, a child may become ill, right? Anything could happen. You experience life, you experience a death, right?
So a bunch of stuff,
But no one, I know we didn't have that. No one said, well, here are the skills you need to be thinking about to navigate those situations.
That's good,
right? Church often offers a lot of prayer, and prayer is a skill because that's one of the skills.
Definitely a skill.
Being able to pray and being able to seek God about things. We don't want to discount any of that. And there's also other skills, even in dealing with yourself and others, and setting yourself for a marriage with longevity.
Like I said, I'm getting really excited about this whole conversation that we'll continue to have because, like you said, especially basing it around a skill set, because, like you said, it's a skill is something that you can develop. Because, like you said, you can read all the books in the world about marriage. To me, it's like being new parents. They give you this baby. And they're like, and then they just send you home and you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do? And it's kind of like the same thing with marriage. You say I do, and then everybody goes home, and then we go home together, and we're like, okay, what do we do?
Right.
And so for over this long period of time, we're developing this skill set of how do we stay together?
Yeah. And then, how do we practice these skills,
Yeah.
right? So there's a part of practice when we're together, right?
Yeah.
But how do I find a space and a place where I can hone these skills for myself,
Yeah.
right? I need a space to be able to learn how to listen and communicate
Mm-hmm.
when we're not in an argument.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's real. Yeah.
I need to learn how to understand and not process. I need to learn what my own issues are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because, part of developing a skill, once again, going back to golf, when I first started playing golf, I was self-taught, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the unfortunate thing about being self-taught anything is that you grain in bad habits that are
True.
very hard to unlearn.
Yeah.
They're very difficult to unlearn. So then when you get real instruction, part of the instruction is teaching you the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lion's share of the instruction is trying to get you to unlearn those bad habits that you have ingrained,
Yeah.
right? And it's very, very hard. So even if you look at pros like Tiger Woods, right? Tiger Woods' back is messed up because as a little boy, he started playing golf when he was like 1, 2, 3 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he learned how to swing the club because he was such a little guy by twisting his hips and his body all around and whipping the club around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then as an adult, that's how he swings the club. So his hips are really, really fast.
Okay.
And as a result of that, he's hurting his back and all of those
Yeah.
things. And those things show up when he's playing. So
Mm-hmm.
now he had to learn a new way to play
Yeah.
so he won't hurt himself. But that habit that he developed as a little kid, that's his natural tendency.
I think that's just so powerful too. Like you said, learning a new way to play.
Yeah.
Because, it kind of goes back to Terry Crews and his wife, Rebecca.
Yeah. Mhm.
They had to learn a new way to play because for those 20 years,
Yeah.
because you don't get to 20 years and just be like, okay, yeah, we're done.
Mhm.
It's things were happening.
Things happening.
All this trauma. Like I said, when you really know the background of his story, he just had a lot of trauma and she had trauma too.
Yeah.
And so now here we're at year 20 and now they're like, okay, now we're done. And that's anybody's marriage, because when you've been together for 20 years, you've seen a lot. Things are just going to happen.
Yeah.
Kids grow up, like you said, people pass away in your lives, jobs change. We change.
Yeah. Yeah, and we weren't there to see the evolution and maturity of Terry Crews nor his
Absolutely,
wife,
right.
right? And so just imagine, we all go through maturity changes in our life. So he's a Hollywood guy,
Yeah.
right? He has been for a very long time,
Mhm.
all the way back to that prisoner in the
Yeah.
in the Friday movie
Yeah.
that was wanting to get Magic Mike,
Yeah.
all the way up to now, right?
Yeah.
Obviously he played in the NFL for a while,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
so you have this, celebrity-esque guy, right,
Mhm.
that I'm sure is attracting celebrity-esque
Ex-
attention,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And you let him tell it, he got attention from everywhere,
Yeah.
right? Not just women, right?
Right. That's true.
And
That
so
is
he was
true.
confronted with that
Mhm.
and the money. I'm sure there's Hollywood pressure to show up and participate in places
Yes.
that even if he didn't believe it in order to preserve his career, because, him being able to act is based upon how the industry likes it.
Yeah.
Right?
That is true. That is
And
true.
so we don't know what pressure
Yeah.
that placed
Yeah.
on their relationship, right? We don't know how many times he fell.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't know how many times she got frustrated and fell. We
Mhm.
don't know any of that stuff. And I'm not saying that they did. I'm just
Right.
saying just for observation's sake, we don't know. It could have happened, right?
What I love about this conversation is that the real talk of marriage is there's going to be pressures.
Yeah.
There's
Pressure
going
points.
to be there's going to be these things that are going to put pressure points on the marriage.
Mhm.
So you have to know how to you have to have a skill set to know how to survive, to work through those pressure points so you can have, longevity.
Yeah. So longevity is a skill. So what we're going to do too is we're going to link we didn't post the video and we usually do a reaction around these kinds of things,
Mhm.
but because it was the big game and because it's People Magazine, we don't want to get a copyright strike. So what we will do is we'll provide a link in the description below to the People Magazine article and
Yeah.
the Terry Crews video. And you all can look at that for yourself and kind of glean from it what you'd like in terms of perspective on relationships. But I think we're really going to delve into this, and our goal here is to kind of have some couples that have sort of endured through time.
Have had some pressure points.
They've had
Yeah.
pressure points, but they've endured through time.
Yeah.
So, I think it'll be a good series for
Yeah,
folks.
I'm getting really excited about it because I feel like I said, that a lot of people will benefit from that. A lot of times we talk about marriage, but like you said, understanding it from a skill set space, like you said, the skill set of loving.
Yeah.
Like what does that really look like? Because I like what it says in I feel like 1 Corinthians 13. We like to use that when we get married.
Mm-hmm.
Love is patient, love is kind, all those things, but that's a skill.
It is. It's a skill.
It's a skill to be patient
Yeah.
when your spouse is getting on your nerves.
Yeah. The skill kicks the skill kicks in when you don't feel like it, right?
Absolutely.
The skill because Mike Tyson said having discipline is when you do what you hate like you love it, right? So I'm
learning that now.
Yeah. So his skill as a boxer.
Not with you. But just
you hate.
No.
See,
let me just make the
video brings the truth out, right?
Not with you, babe.
It's like I'm doing this every day.
No. Something else. Sorry. No.
With this guy. With this joke over here.
Not with you. Okay. I know that probably sounded really terrible. Sorry. Not with you. It has nothing to do with you.
It's okay. It's okay. I've developed the skill of thick skin.
Right.
I don't take stuff
personal.
Woo. No. It is. It's I lost my train of thought.
Is that no? This is what we do all the time.
It is.
Plus, we're getting old too.
This is a comedy of errors, right? It does not take much.
We're like, oh,
right? I could have like the cure for cancer in my hands, and if you send me a text, that thing is gone. It's like, oh well, wow, we could have saved the world here, but you called, and that's pretty much out of there.
Sorry about that.
It's like I got $1 million idea here. What was I working on? Sorry. Whoops. Got a case of the old age there. The old timers disease. Yes. Yep. But no. So hey y'all, just remember, if the content is good to you, like the video, share the video with folks that you know could use this. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for notifications as we publish content. I think this is going to be a very enlightening time.
Yes.
As we talk about, love, longevity as a skill.
Yeah.
Because, with Valentine's Day, once again, there's this usually big buildup and it falls off. But we want to get to a place where we're helping people to kind of see their spouses or their significant others or forever persons in a Valentine's Day is every day.
Yeah, every day.
And that there is something to cherish, acknowledge about the person you're with every day. Something valuable about that person every day.
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
Yeah. I know every day. Every day I know that there's value that you bring. Right, to our relationship, that there's once again, it's like I can't live without you. No, but
can't.
But I can't, right? I'd be so dirty and dusty, and I would be like unkempt, food in my beard.
We were doing something. What did you tell me the other day? I think you were looking for something, and you said, you said you have to die first.
I said,
because you won't be able to find nothing without
I'm like,
me.
I got to die first. Right, because I can't find nothing here. I
was trying to walk him through it, and it was not working.
I can't pay a bill. I can't find no money. I can't do nothing here, right? So I don't have access to nothing.
I was like,
it's we gonna work this out, me and God. I'm gonna go first. That way I don't have to struggle through finding none of these nooks and crannies,
Listen, you gotta say it's a strategy. That's just my strategy. Making sure the brother don't leave. I'm saying it should be everybody's strategy, but I'm just saying the brother needs me.
Yeah. But beyond that, it's just like, okay, you can need somebody because there's a codependency that can happen, and sometimes it can get unhealthy. True. But my thing is like my life is so much better with you in it, right? It's like if I look at the quality of life that I have today, I would not have that without you.
Yeah.
Right. So that's really what I look at. And I want people to get to the place when the person you're with, really assess the quality of life you have today. Is that enhanced with that person in
Yeah.
your life? Don't answer it in front of them, because some of y'all gonna say no, and we don't want to be
Yeah.
responsible for folks
Then we
breaking
have to
up.
have a private
But we have to
session
have
of
a private
Safe House.
conversation.
Yes.
But if you are having that struggle, ask yourself, why have I allowed our relationship? Why have I not developed the skill to appreciate the value
Yeah.
that this person is bringing? Right,
hmm
that's a skill you haven't developed, because they're
Yeah.
bringing value.
They are bringing value.
They're
That's
doing
real
something
talk.
from it, but
Yeah.
but the skill has somehow atrophied in you to where the only thing you see is the deficits that this person
hmm
creates in your life, and you're not seeing any of the value that the
Yeah.
person is bringing to your life. So,
Because that value will always add to longevity.
yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Value and longevity go together.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
is that all we got for this
That's
week?
all we got. I mean, I feel like we've said a lot,
Yeah.
but like I said, definitely looking forward to the next few episodes to be able to kind of, give our listeners, some opportunities to learn, like I said, to really think about longevity in a different way, about being a skill set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you all. Well, longevity is a skill set to come. Remember, like, share, and subscribe to the video.
Happy Valentine's Day, guys.
Happy Valentine's Day. Celebrate the one you love.
Yes, please do that.
In a big, big way. We pray
Yes.
that you're all doing that this weekend, whether it's sharing just a cupcake together and a
That's
bowl of ice
right.
cream,
I'm
or
telling you.
going out to some extravagant candlelit
However
dinner.
you
However
choose
you
to
want
do
to
it.
do it.
Put some real value behind it,
put
like
some
you said.
value.
Yeah. Make sure that the person that you're with feels valued. Yeah.
So with that, Safe House,
We love you guys.
we love you, and we are going to say peace.